Oh yes guys, welcome to the Solana video, and it's going to be quite an in-depth video because I will give you both the tech perspective, because I am a former software developer. I've been programming for many years, and I can give you exactly what has happened to Solana when it comes to protocol development, when it comes to Firedancer, when it comes to Alpenglow, and so on and so forth. But also, I've been trading for 10 plus years, so I can tell you where Solana is heading price-wise. So you both get tech and technical analysis, and that's why I'm Ivan on tech. It's tech and technical analysis. So that's what we will be discussing. Also, a very important question is, when will Solana top out? Is it this year, the next year? What kind of price will we see? Can you retire on Solana, and so on and so forth? That being said, let's get started. If you check the description, you see the exchanges where you can buy Solana. You can get bonuses if you use our links to buy Solana, and you can also join our Discord in order to discuss Solana as well. So on this note, let's get started. Let's speak about Solana. Let's see how high the price can go. Let's evaluate their tech developments. And by the way, guys, if you like making money with altcoins, smash up the like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because we do analysis like this on a weekly basis. Let's get started. So as of the recording of this video, Solana is sitting at approximately $153, and I want this to be kind of a public track record, that I'm here telling you that Solana is a good deal at these levels, and then in a few weeks, in a few months, in a few years, especially in a few years, it's going to be interesting to see how this played out. But let me take a step back. Let me discuss what has happened to Solana during the last few years. And by the way, this is the Tolly from Solana, the founder of Solana. Big shout out. First and foremost, Solana launched in 2021. Most people missed it. They thought it was dead in 2022. Why? Because FTX collapsed, because SBF, who was quite a proponent and marketer of Solana, as you know, he's in jail now. And then in 2023, people said that it's not going to go anywhere because of this FTX backdrop in 2022. And then 2024 has been very good for Solana, because all of the meme coins, all of the volume, all of the users are on Solana. Solana is the chain that captures most of new users into crypto. When people learn about crypto today, they download Phantom Wallet. Last cycle, when people learn about crypto, they download the MetaMask. So it's a big shift that has happened, that now the number one thing that people download is Solana related apps. Look at Trump coin was on Solana, Melania coin on Solana. All of these new things that attract the next generation of users is on Solana. ETH and other ecosystems that are from last cycle, they're still strong among the existing users. They have many fans among the existing users, and among the so-called laggards, if I'm to say it, so-called laggers that haven't tried Solana, or they refuse to try it and they refuse to acknowledge it. So there, all of the old ones like, ETH and the L2s are still big. But when it comes to new users and new inflow of capital, new inflow of transactions, it is mainly Solana that they're coming into. This is due to hardcore execution. The fact that the developers of Solana make decisions and make trade-offs in order to ensure that Solana is nice for decentralized markets. They take all the trade-offs to ensure that Solana is fantastic to be a decentralized, basically internet capital market. And obviously there are very tough decisions to be made. How do we do all of these trade-offs in a way that makes sense, that it's nice for developers, nice for users, that the chain is decentralized and they cannot be stopped, cannot be hijacked, and so on and so forth. And they're able to make it work. So through hardcore execution, they're able to make it work. And in 2024, 2025, they have shown that it's really the foundation of the next internet, where you have all of these tokenized stocks, you have institutions coming in, and so on and so forth. It's not only a blockchain for memes, although memes have tested Solana. Memes have proven that Solana can scale to hundreds of billions in volume, and without issue, and soon to trillions in volume. So just like these adult videos, they scaled the internet in the early days, and they proved that internet can be used for text, for images, spicy image. The same thing is with meme coins. I mean, meme coins are the corn of Solana, you can say, of the blockchain. Now, this is the digital stuff people want, but that is also what's scaling, because whether you're trading a meme coin or you're trading Apple stock, it's exactly the same technical foundation and technical features, where someone needs to sell, someone needs to buy, and there needs to be a blockchain that can handle that transaction. For the blockchain, it doesn't matter what the asset is. And Solana has proven that whatever asset, it can handle all of the load. So let's break down exactly what has happened and why builders are choosing Solana. And let's start by discussing the protocol, because as you may have heard, we do have Firedancer coming out this year. It's already live on mainnet in its Frankendancer state. It's a funny name, but basically it means that Firedancer is live. So we know that it works. It can handle the load that it needs to handle. However, it is currently in a limited state it handling part of the validation pipeline, although doesn't do full block production yet. So we know that it's gonna work, but there's still fine-tuning, last details, and it is on mainnet. It is on mainnet, and later this year is going to be on mainnet and in full force, and that's when Solana will go to 1 million transactions per second. So this Fire Dancer is a brand new validator client. It's built by Jump Crypto. It's using C++, and the most important thing is the speed. There is 1 million transactions per second that it can handle, and this is more than every L1 and every L2 combined. But also, if you look at specific Web2 system, let's say that you have an app on Amazon. Like if you look at one specific Web2 system at a time, most of them also cannot handle this kind of load. So Solana is really proving that they can handle all of this expected TPS loads, and it's only the beginning. I mean, imagine the tracing once this is live. Imagine what kind of asset tracing we can have once Fire Dancer is live, and obviously then it's a no-brainer because it's a literally decentralized Nasdaq. Then the vision of Solana, which is to create decentralized Nasdaq, then it has happened. It has happened once they have the Fire Dancer, and that's going to be later this year. Okay, guys, let's talk about this meme that Solana always goes down, that you have to flip Solana on and off when there is an issue. And listen, it's been fair criticism of Solana. However, since 2024, there have been no major issues. In 2024, in February, there was a big fat outage for 5 hours. And the reason for that was because memes and everything, we had so much trading, there was so much volume, there were so many users, and obviously when you breach what was possible before and you go into a new reality, a new order of magnitude of transactions and usage, something will break. Something will break. Just like early internet, you remember it was very common that websites were down. You go to Google or some other big website of that time, it may be down. Now they're rarely down because as engineers learn, as technology evolves, we become better at handling it. And this is why I'm saying that. All of this battle testing, it's really battle testing Solana to be the decentralized Nasdaq, to trade everything, not only crypto stuff, but everything. So the last big outage was in 2024 in February. Since then, there have been no big outages. And also, when you count the days, it's approximately 500 days, 500 plus days of having this insane volume, insane number of users, insane adoption that no other chain has, and without big issues. So what has changed? We have a complete rework of how gossip propagation works and validator coordination happens. Block space doubled. So now you have twice as much information flowing, and it is going higher. Memory handling and fee markets are restructured to eliminate spam attacks. And for example, when you look at Solana and local fee market, it means that if you have someone spamming an application, the fees for that application may go up, but the overall fees for all other applications don't go up. And this is very different to, for example, ETH and other chains where no matter who sends the transaction, where it's being sent, which smart contract to interact with, all fees for everyone go up. That's how it is in ETH. In Solana, it's not like that. In Solana, fees only for the app that is being used go up. So this local fee market is quite smart. So basically, they didn't just patch the holes, they rebuilt a lot of the ship in order to handle this new order of magnitude of load that the whole crypto industry is only now starting to experience in the last 2 years that we didn't have before. So this is why TradFi is, when they're looking at the different technical solutions, Solana is becoming more and more of a no-brainer, also because the vision of Solana is to become decentralized Nasdaq. That's the only thing they care about. There's no other discussion about what Solana should be. It's decentralized Nasdaq as fast as possible and as fast as physics allow. Okay, very important. Let's speak about the Finality. That's another technical aspect of Solana that has improved a lot. With the Alpenglow update that is coming very, very soon, the Finality goes from 12.8 seconds to 100 milliseconds. So whenever you do a trade, it's instantly confirmed. It's instantly finalized. And that's one of the biggest things where you look at institutions, you look at trade, you look at any kind of use cases. It's all about finality. When is the transaction finalized? Because when you start doing transactions, you're taking risk, you're executing trades, you want to know that it doesn't roll back. You want to know that your profit stays with you. You want to know that when you buy something, it doesn't go back. And for some use cases, like with Bitcoin, having 10-minute finality, like Bitcoin has, it takes 10 minutes for everything to propagate, for you to get the next block, and so on and so forth. And still, you can say, is it really final? It's probabilistically final, but for all intents and purposes, 10 minutes in Bitcoin, you can say finality. For Bitcoin use case, it makes sense because the use case there is, digital gold. You store your asset. 10 minutes is still faster than any international wire transfer via the TradFi systems. So Bitcoin is fantastically fine with 10 minutes. On Solana, when you trade low time frame, you trade all these altcoins, you trade just like you trade on the stock market, where you may have high frequency trading and so on and so forth. Having this low finality, it's a game changer. It's absolute game changer. It's faster than most Visa terminals, and also it's not some kind of dream, some kind of theoretical number. It's already in development, and once it's live, Solana will have one of the fastest finality times on the planet. There you go. So Solana is already very, very fast. With this, it's going to be super fast when it comes to this finality. When you execute transactions, you know that it's confirmed. Boop. Now, compared to all of the L2s on ETH, you don't know when things are finalized on L2 because transactions happen. It's not on L1, it's on L2. It needs to come to L1 at some point. How do you know when it's going to be on L1? Who the hell knows? Because all of these L2s are different. Some of them are stage 1, some of them are stage 2, some of them are just a multi-sig and one single sequencer. So when you compare the speed and finality to L2s, you cannot really compare, because even if L2s are fast, some of them claim that they're as fast as Solana. Okay, but what about finality? Because Solana is not only fast, it's also when you do transactions, bam, 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 they're finalized. On L2s, it's, I mean, you see yourself. Alpenglow isn't just incremental improvement, it's a quantum leap that puts Solana in a category by itself. It's true. Next, let's look at the ecosystem at what has happened. Basically, we have double TVL since 2024. We have 107 billion monthly DEX volume. It's insane. I mean, literally insane. 12 billion stablecoin supply. For Solana, it's all-time high. It's still not the highest. On ETH, it's bigger, but it is catching up. And mainly it's catching up because when you look at the everyday use, let's say Latin America, Africa, I mean, all of these countries that need digital dollar, that need stable coins, for them, it's Solana because it's a zero fee, basically zero fee for all intents and purposes. Everything else is too complex. Bridge, L2, this L2, which L2, there are many L2s. The user experience is not comparable. So obviously, when you have Solana, everything is just one chain, one L1. It's totally different. So this is real usage, real capital, and this is accelerating. Apps like Jupiter, Orca, and Marinade aren't just surviving, they're thriving. A lot of the dApps on Solana, they're thriving. Liquid staking is surging, and thanks to Solana speed, Solana DeFi offers a trading experience that rivals centralized exchanges. It's true. When you look at all of the trading experiences, when you look at all of the order types you can do on Solana DEXs, it is becoming closer and closer to a DEX. And here's what most people miss. Solana DeFi is where institutions are quietly dipping their toes into the future. With lower latency, MEV protection, and real finality, this is becoming the place for advanced DeFi infrastructure. Overall, when you look at institutions, they're still very early in this market. There's no clear winner right now. Who they're gonna pick, where most liquidity and most value is gonna be. But my bet is that Solana will have a big fat chunk, a massive chunk. Next, let's look at gaming. Let's look at entertainment. Let's look at art. So on Solana, we do have compressed NFTs, meaning that if you want to do 1 million NFTs, it's gonna be super cheap because the cost of each NFT is like 0.000. Like there are several zeros here before you see any numbers in the cost per NFT when you mint at scale using compressed NFTs. So let's say you want to mint 1 million NFTs, you have a big community, or you're a brand, you want to give something to all your customers, you will be paying approximately $110 to mint 1 million. On ETH, I mean, we're speaking about tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands when it is bull market and demand is high. So compressed NFTs is the technology that allows it. So on Solana, NFTs are fast and cheap. Thanks to compressed NFTs, you can mint 1 million NFTs for $110, and it's not a typo, because this is for all of you guys who have not tried minting. Like, this is insane. Minting costs are very, very high normally. They're very high, especially in the bull market when everyone is minting, everyone is transacting. They can be super high for you to mint stuff. This is super cheap. So that's why creators love Solana. That's why marketplaces like Magic Eden, Tensor, and ExchangeR dominate. And that's why you're seeing a whole new category of use cases, because everything is cheap and you can do stuff easily. Currently, in this part of the cycle, when I'm recording this in summer 2025, NFTs overall across all chains are a bit down. They're not hot. But if you look at 2021, how crazy NFTs were and where we're heading in this market, it's quite quite possible that we see the renaissance of NFTs, and then Solana will capture most of it. The next, gaming. You have Star Atlas building on Solana, Steppen, also with the Saga Phone. This one is interesting because Solana, as you know, they have the Saga Phone, and with the Saga Phone, you have gaming and everything already built into the phone with the wallet built in. The adoption is very low here on the Saga Phone because it's a very niche device for Solana fans. So this is more a bet on the future that Saga Phone grows, and I'm not sure how much it's gonna grow, to be fair. I love the Saga Phone because it is because I love Solana, so for me it's having a phone it's part of being early adopter. Will it be massive for everyone? I don't know because how you compete with Apple is gonna be tough. But if they do it in a more niche way, maybe they can position the phone a bit in a niche way, so it makes sense for you. If you have, let's say, iOS, Apple, you also can have this phone because it's like a complement somehow. But the good thing here is that it's a phone with a wallet built in, with a hardware wallet built in. So you don't have any of these issues with the App Store and all of that. So yeah, with the compressed NFTs, everything becomes super nice. And here Solana has competition from Ronin, from Immutable, and so on and so forth. But gaming, I see it more as part of the bigger whole, because if Solana has the decentralized Nasdaq with most liquidity, with most coins, with most users, where users have the wallets funded with money, you as a game developer, you also want to build on Solana, because why else would you be missing out on all of the users, all of the liquidity? So in my mind, the most important thing for Solana is to ensure that they keep the lead of users, number of transactions, volume, and liquidity. Like just that's it. That they keep growing those things, because if they will keep growing those things, then the gaming is also gonna come. Because what do game developers want? They want fast, cheap, reliable, everything works, and all the liquidity is there, and all the players are there with their wallets, ready to spend money in their game, ready to buy NFTs, ready to do financial transactions. I mean, that's the whole point. Why the hell you want a crypto game? Why do you build a crypto game? Because you want users that have the wallets to spend in your game. So that's why, as long as Solana can offer that, building on Solana is a no-brainer, especially when you know that the team is working every day to scale the crap out of Solana, to scale it as much as possible. And everyone in Solana says, increase bandwidth, reduce latency. All the builders know it. So that gives you certainty that it's not like on ETH or other places where they're not really sure, like, should we build a religion or should we build a technical solution for blockchain developers? In Solana, it's super clear. We're building as fast as possible. And if you're a dev, you feel that peace of mind. And if you're a game dev, that's all you need as well. Now, let's speak about payments, because as I mentioned before, payments is one of the key use cases for Solana, because it's cheap, because most people have wallet there, because all of the new people who join crypto, they get a wallet with Solana. So this is why, for example, Visa is right now settling transactions on Solana, and it's correct. You didn't hear wrong. The global payment giant now uses Solana for USDC-based settlement. Why? Because it's cheaper, faster, and more reliable than anything else. Then you have Shopify integrating Solana Pay, because if you're a merchant, you want to accept stablecoin, users will likely have Phantom Wallet. So for you to integrate Solana Pay is a no-brainer. IoT, you look at Helium. Helium is working with the biggest telecoms in the world, in the US and in Mexico, in order to have coverage. So these telecoms, they use Helium to get coverage. And Helium is a blockchain network where you can share your Wi-Fi, you can share your mobile plan. And so in many rural areas where telecom operators don't want to invest in native infrastructure because it's simply not worth it, maybe it's 10 people that live there, or it's they're not going to get many subscribers from those areas. Helium is perfect because it is basically a peer-to-peer network for data, for Wi-Fi, and the way that they have grown is quite remarkable, because telecom operators on the back end tap into Helium coverage, and on the front end, their users don't even notice that they're using this decentralized peer-to-peer network. So that's quite interesting. So this is an example running on Solana. Helium is a Solana native project. You look at compute networks like Render. Render is super big when it comes to GPU, when it comes to computing. It's also a decentralized network for any GPU task. And then you have Cast as well. Cast is launching Solana-backed debit cards with 150 million merchant endpoints, bridging crypto to everyday retail. So this is where you see real adoption. It's not, it's not just tweets. We're not competing on tweets here. Who can do the best tweet? Who can do the funniest tweet? It's real adoption, and it's quite remarkable from that perspective. Next. When we look into the future, let's look into the future. 2025, you can kind of say it's a comeback. 2024, 2025, it is comeback of Solana. 2026 is the expansion, because by the end of 2025, Fire Dancer is expected to handle 50% or more of validator traffic and actually be live fully. This is going to scale Solana to 1 million transactions per second. It also ensures client redundancy, because now there are many clients. It's not only one client, many clients. So if there's an issue with one client, the other one can handle it. It unlocks new performance optimizations the original tech couldn't handle. Basically, like switching from a Toyota engine to Formula One engine. And if the existing Solana is Toyota, then ETH is like a horse and carriage in a way. Also, like we mentioned with Alpenglow, this is gonna be either later this year or early next year. But it's all about the finality. That whenever you do a transaction within 100 milliseconds or under 100 milliseconds, it is confirmed. So it's real-time confirmation. And it's not just about speed. Alpenglow fundamentally transforms what's possible, because you will have improved composability. Smart contracts can chain together multiple actions with certainty, enabling more complex financial products, because when everything is confirmed fast, things can happen fast. When you have a chained transaction, it can all happen faster. Reduced MEV risk, because near instant finality shrinks the window of front running and sandwich attacks. This one is quite key. Let's say you trade on ETH right now, you do a transaction, everyone sees your transaction because it's put in the public mempool, and then all of the bots can see your transaction, what you're trying to do, and then they can try to front run you, because transactions on ETH are not ordered. So if someone comes with a bigger fee, they can front run you. And basically they see that, okay, this guy wants to buy this token. They can look at the price of the token, why you want to trying to think why you want to buy it, and then try to buy it before you and then sell it to you for a higher price, basically. So the more time they have to think, the more wrecked you will be. If finality is 100 milliseconds, there's no time of front running anyone. There's no opportunity for you to get wrecked by someone seeing your transaction and front running you. Okay. Next, you have latency sensitive applications. New use cases emerge when you have this kind of fast latency. Everything from real-time gaming, speaking about gaming again, is going to be real-time gaming, high-frequency trading, and payment systems that rival credit cards. When this goes live, chains with multi-second finality won't be able to keep up, and the implications are massive. Traditional finance operates on millisecond timescale, and with Alpenglow, Solana enters that realm, making it first blockchain truly capable of replacing every legacy financial infrastructure. That's powerful. That's very, very powerful. Next, let's speak about the stablecoins in depth, because when you look at USDC, EuroC, when you look at PayPal stablecoin, all of them are growing on Solana. Why? Because again, it's cheap, fast, reliable. Solana's infrastructure is cheap enough for microtransactions, fast enough for point-of-sale payments, and stable enough for fintech integration. Basically, when you look at Solana, and you look at merchants, this is the perfect match, because merchants know that Solana has the most users, most wallets, and if you have to pick one payment processor solution out of all of them in crypto, Solana is the one. Next, let's speak about the micropayments revolution, because when transactions are this cheap, less than $0.001 per transaction, it means that Solana can now cater, and really not only cater but also create, because new inventions, new platforms are always about creation. Internet didn't just digitalize libraries or newspapers. It did that, but also did so much more. So when we speak about Solana and new business models, it's all about creating and enabling things that were not possible before. For example, content creators can charge per view, not per month. Digital services can bill by the second, not by monthly subscription. And cross-border payments can happen instantly for pennies instead of taking days for dollars. This is very important. The fact that when it's so cheap, you will have a lot of interest from not only merchants, but everyone who wants to have real-time microtransactions in their business model. And that's a whole type of new business model. Next, looking at developers, there are many developers building. 7.6 thousand new developers joined Solana in 2024. In 2025, it's still growing 30%. New projects from different hackathons, this and that, are launching. So the developer ecosystem is bullish and on the rise, and institutional money is flowing in. You have many ETFs coming online later this year. You can see right here. You have international adoption, because both Europe and Canada have sold ETPs. So ETP is kind of like ETF, but with a bit less investor protections. And normally ETPs don't get as much inflows as ETFs because they have less investor protection. But still, in Europe and Canada, there are still many so-called ETPs. and they're trading with significant volume. And next, you also have now the staking ETF coming live in the US, and it's fantastic because that's an inflow. That's a way for capital to flow into the ecosystem in a nice way. Now, the thing with this staking ETF is that, in my mind, it's not really an ETF because they kind of did a workaround how to get the ETF onto the market, but this one, as far as I understand, has some not too good tax consequences. It's not tax efficient because they make it they basically wrap a corporation in the ETF. You can read more about it, but my point here basically is that Solana still doesn't have real ETFs, like, you know, BlackRock or VanEck or 21 Shares. These are real ETFs. These ones are real ETFs. This ETF we have now, it launched yesterday, I think, July 2nd. It's not a real ETF, although it's called ETF. Next, look here. To recap, if we're to recap everything that we discussed in this presentation, we have 100% uptime. Firedancer now live, although it's live to a limited extent in this Franken Dancer configuration. Later this year is going to be fully live. Alpenglow coming next. 1 million TPS benchmark hit in this limited way with Firedancer. NFTs are exploding thanks to compression. Visa live on Solana. All of these integrations with Shopify and Helium. Stablecoins all-time high. Gaming going mobile with the Saga Phone, and overall gaming is doing quite well. Developers locking in, ETF filings submitted, institutional trust rising. Exactly. And listen, again, it's not hopium, it's math, momentum, and market validation. Solana has become the most battle-tested, future-ready L1 in the game. And what's next? What's next? We have to discuss the price. How high can the price go? Where are we heading? What's possible for Solana price-wise? So as I'm recording this, Solana is at $154, and I think it's quite cheap. Many people say it's expensive, it's overvalued. It's not. I think it's quite cheap. Given the circumstances, I think it's quite cheap. Given all of the metrics, given all of the progress, you compare Solana to ETH market cap, it's super cheap. So looking at the base case, I have the base case here and then the bullish case. My base case is that we are at around 250 to 300. We recapture the high until the end of the year, and next year we explode further to approximately 1K next year. Given obviously that the bear market doesn't come, that the whole industry continues to operate and we don't have some crazy bear market. But to me, this is like a no-brainer. The fact that we go back to previous all-time high is a no-brainer. And if I'm to be a bit bullish, my bullish case for this year is that we ended around 500 to 1K, maybe at 600, maybe at 700, but between 500 and 1K. And when you look at the rationale, so just coming back to old all-time high is because we have Firedancer in production, we have CVL surge, we have ETFs, and we have a bull market peaking out in one way or another. Then it's absolute no-brainer that we go back to these highs that weren't even in a super mania phase. I mean, literally, it was when was it? It was in November. It wasn't even some kind of super mania, okay? Not in November, it was in January actually. So in January we went to 300 for one Solana, and you remember January? It wasn't some kind of super mania. It was quite bullish because Trump did an NFT, but that's it. Like there wasn't some kind of super mania. But so this is my base case, and it's quite conservative. To be fair, it's very conservative. If I'm to be bullish, then it is between 500 and 1K. I think this one, I'm calling it a bullish case because I want to be, I don't want to be you guys thinking, oh, he's a moon boy, But really, it's bullish case. I would say it's realistic case. This one is, I call it base case, but really it is more of a conservative that we just go back. This one is more realistic that actually we go to 500, maybe 600, 700, 800. It's very, very possible. And the rationale here is that we have all these updates with Alpenglow, ETFs approved, Bitcoin hits new all-time high, L2s. More and more people realize that L2s are not that great. For example, a few days ago, Robinhood announced that they're going to do an L2 on ETH. So when you look at this competition between institutions doing something on L2 versus institutions doing something on L1, time will tell what is the best strategy. And if it is the case that we are seeing all of these things launching on Solana succeeding faster, and they're more happy than the ones building on their own L2, which doesn't even pump ETH. Like, that's the problem. When you do an L2, it barely pumps ETH because ETH is not needed in that equation, and no one is building on ETH L1. So from the perspective of institutions coming into crypto, some of them choose to do their own L2, like Coinbase, for example, and Robinhood. And then many also choose to build on Solana, like, for example, the X stocks, all of these different tokenized stocks that just went live is on Solana. Solana will capture this dev migration, and they've done it already in a big way, because all of the memes, they're not on Binance Chain. They're not like in the last cycle. They're not on Base either. They're on Solana. But all of the future use cases that are new to crypto, Solana is the preferred option for many, but so is the Base, for example. So is doing your own L2. So time will tell which approach is better, where you get most business value as an institution, where you go live. So this is yet to be seen, but the bullish case, I mean, again, we're speculating. If you're speculating, you need to have some kind of case. What is the bullish case? So you need to have some kind of belief and some kind of strategy, some kind of assumption. What do you assume about the market? So my assumption as an investor is that we will see more outflows from the ETH ecosystem into Solana, more outflows from L2s into Solana. And then long term, I think it's a no-brainer that we'll go to 1K plus. You look at Solana capturing half of ETH market cap, it could take us to 1K. I mean, when ETH grows, because ETH will pump as well. And let's say Solana goes to 50% of ETH market cap, it's a no-brainer. I think it's a no-brainer that we go to 1K. And so looking at the market cap right now, ETH, as of the recording of this video, is at 300 billion market cap. Solana is at 80. Solana is at 80. Okay, so let's say we reach parity. We reach parity today. If we reach parity today, it's times 4. So it is $600 if we reach parity today. But ETH will moon also. ETH is likely going to go to 10K in the coming in the coming months if the bull market really plays out. If we have the money printer and all of that, ETH is going to go to 10K. What's going to happen to Solana if that happens? Because also I expect Solana to close the gap with ETH. Now the gap is 4x. Maybe at the end of this bull market is going to be just 2x. And ETH is maybe at 10K, maybe even 15K. And where will Solana be? So this is the kind of stuff that we need to keep in mind. And it's also a big part of my thesis on Solana, because it's all about comparing it and valuing it against the competition. So that's that. And also, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think. Join our Discord. Let's discuss in Discord more what you think. So final thoughts. This isn't just a comeback, it's a new beginning, especially with Fire Dancer and with Alpenglow. Solana went through fire, lost partnerships, got mocked, it got written off, and then it rebuilt. Harder, faster, smarter, and now it got the tech, the team, the traction, and the trust. And you're not only watching protocol grow, you're witnessing a movement that's turning into infrastructure for the next version of the internet. The builders are here, institutions are coming, the roadmap is locked. I love this. Why is the roadmap locked? Because it's not locked from the perspective, exactly which code they're gonna write. That's never locked. But it is locked from the perspective of overall strategy. To do the decentralized NASDAQ, and to increase bandwidth, reduce latency. Like, all they do is that's the roadmap, the big vision roadmap. The founders are able to articulate a big vision roadmap, where the hell we're going. We're building a decentralized NASDAQ. It's going to be as fast as physics allow, and we achieve it. So this is like the grand mission. And then the strategy to achieve it is to increase bandwidth, reduce latency. If we just focus on that, we will reach that. And then the tactics, exactly which code to write, this and that, the devs figure out themselves. But they're all aligned. They're all rowing in one direction. And then you compare it to other protocols, let's say L2s and ETH Foundation. I mean, as you know, it's a bit of a conflict. Like, should we build L2s? Like, should we build on ETH L1? Like this and that. L2s now, they will never support anything that doesn't push ETH into the L2 direction. ETH really has no choice now but to keep doing these L2s, because how else do you turn the ship around? You have so many interests now building L2s. You're gonna say that you want to scale L1? Man, listen, I don't know how ETH is gonna do it. ETH is still gonna play a big role, and I don't expect Solana to flip ETH in the coming years. I think it's gonna close the gap. But ETH is ETH. ETH is ETH. It's legendary. We've made a lot of money with ETH. Because if you remember in last cycle when ETH was at 200, I was also yelling that it's super cheap, just like now Solana is 150. And then ETH went to 4K. So, can Solana do something similar? Let's see. I think it's possible. So, if you've been waiting for the signal, this is it. 2025 was Solana's breakout year. 2026 is where the rocket leaves target. Yeah, there you go, the last numbers. Now, I mean, as always, you should know that I have Solana. You probably know. I mean, listen, if you're watching the channel, you probably know. Obviously, I have Solana. Why else would I make this with this video saying why I like Solana? So obviously, I have Solana. Maybe I'm a bit biased, maybe not, but investing is about being biased because you need to have some kind of balls, some kind of cojones. You have that. If you don't have that, you make no bet. I mean, it's kind of the point. Being biased in investing, and then if you're wrong, you're quick to correct your mistake. So that's that, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you thought. We put a lot of time into this. Hope you enjoyed. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very, very soon.